Today, Infinity Ward dropped a blog post and it goes over everything Season 2 Reloaded, but what's important for this video is something we've been expecting and knowing is going to be coming with Season 2 Reloaded, of course that being the next raid for Modern Warfare 2, Raid Episode 2. Now I think the most important thing that everyone's really curious about this raid more than anything is that release date. When is this raid coming out, and in other words, when is Season 2 Reloaded dropping? Well, that's actually going to be on March 15th, and that's honestly a lot sooner than I expected, so yeah, it's happening pretty soon. But regardless though, they didn't just give us the release date, they gave us a summary of the raid, some images of the raid, and finally a little bit more bits and pieces that we will also go over. But for now, let's start off with the summary they gave us to just kind of understand what's happening here. Continuing the narrative of Adamgrad Episode 1, Captain Price, Farah, and Gaz find themselves at the base of a ballistic missile. It's their mission to identify and acquire the attached payload, meaning they'll first need to ascend the interior silo while encountering increasing enemy resistance. Along the way, these operators will need to navigate this intricate facility littered with traps, so be prepared to work as a team if you hope to succeed and reap the mission's rewards. And that's the summary they gave us, and this confirms something that I personally have been hesitant to say, even though, you know, it was probably obvious, but it seems like this episode is directly picking up right after the previous raid that we had. Because if you guys remember how Adamgrad ended, it ended of course with our characters finding the missile silos, or the ballistic missiles, whatever you really want to call them, and now it seems like we're directly picking up right after that. So we're going to be in the same exact facility, and we're just going to further explore this giant facility that we first got into. And this may have been obvious for some people, but you know, I was a little bit just maybe hoping that we'd go to a new location entirely for this next raid, but I guess this is going to be fine regardless. It's not really going to be that big of a deal. Regardless though, they did give us 3 different images of this raid, and 2 of them really don't show us much. This first one right here, we just see, you know, Farah and Captain Price just walking through this hallway that has a lot of pipes on the side. Not much going on there, to be completely honest. And same thing with this next image, we just see Captain Price and Gaz this time walking through a small hallway with pipes. So again, not really showing us much. The only somewhat interesting image they gave us is this one here, where we see 2 characters just looking over this giant area. And I don't know what's going to be going on here, but hopefully something big. Hopefully it's something fun, creative, and kind of new. I don't really know exactly what could be happening here. Honestly, if I had to say, if it reminded me of something else in gaming, like I think there's a level like this in Nier Replicant, that's a thing, but I don't think it's going to be like that at all, so we don't even need to get into that conversation. But regardless though, hopefully something interesting will happen here, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But those are the images we got of the raids. Unfortunately, a little underwhelming and not really showing too much of the raid, but at least it's something. Now, of course, that's not all the information they gave us about the raid. They actually tell us a couple things. One is actually one of the rewards that we're going to be getting for completing this raid. And what that is actually the Bad Booney operator skin for Captain Price. So kind of similar to how if you completed Adamgrad, you would get Gaz as an operator. Now you would get a skin for Captain Price here. And this is actually pretty nice for people who didn't buy the Vault Edition, who don't have Captain Price. This would actually unlock him to at least to be used in one way, which is kind of nice because, you know, we just haven't had him. I know I didn't get the Vault Edition, so I haven't played as that Captain Price this entire time. So at least when we complete this, it's pretty much a entirely new operator, at least for me, and probably a couple of you guys too. Now, I don't think they actually show us how this operator skin looks, but maybe it's just the one we're going to be using in the raid if I had to take a guess. So potentially we do know how it looks, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. The other major thing about raids this time around is that they completely got rid of raid assignments. You know, those random weird things that they made us do, like you have to get to like top something in Warzone or complete some challenge in Spec Ops or multiplayer in order just to access the raid. Yeah, they completely got rid of that, which is definitely a good thing because there was no point in that at all. It was just making less people even try to play because they needed an assignment. It was a weird thing, and I'm glad they've gotten rid of it. And the last thing I really think that is really worth mentioning here that they mention is that they do confirm that it is going to be strictly 3-player co-op again, which I find to be a bit disappointing because I really think that these raids could easily be soloable or 2-playerable, if that's a word too, and I think that would make them a lot more accessible to more people, just to give people more options to play. But I guess it has been alleviated a bit because at least there's some sort of matchmaking now, which is nice, I guess, but overall, I just kind of think that it would be nice if they just made them a bit more accessible by making them, you know, soloable and 2-playerable, like I said. And that's pretty much all the information they gave us about this raid. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this and what you guys want to see, because I know there's a couple things I want to see out of this raid. I really think that even though the first raid was, you know, a nice start to everything, I think there's a lot of things that they should do to make the raids a bit better. I think that having a boss fight at the end of this raid would probably be a really good thing for this game. Also, I think just having the ability to find better weapons along the way would be a really good thing for the raid too. So hopefully we see those things step forward, even maybe more and better puzzles, better mini bosses along the way, and not just a bunch of juggernauts attacking you and stuff like that. Like stuff like that, I really hope that's what we see in this next raid, but of course we'll have to wait and see. Either way though, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy it and found it informative in any way, shape, or form, then definitely do all that normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be, and laters guys.